Bonding with a new parrot is a real struggle, but bonding with a new untamed parrot is even harder. In this video, I will share with you the easiest way that you can bond with your new untamed parrot. Having said that, you can totally use all of this to try to bond with your new tame parrot as well. A parrot that is untamed is usually considered as a parrot that you cannot handle. Otherwise, they're either going to fly away or they're going to try to bite you or both. So, the easiest way to try to bond with your bird is not to force him to be handled, but more so to interact in a positive way without pushing that parrot into doing things they don't like being handled. So my favorite method is target training. If your parrot is completely untamed, which means that you cannot handle and you're scared even to try to get your bird outside of the cage, it's starting training or target training in the cage is actually a really good way to start bonding with your parrot. I have to say, I have personally dealt with that. When I first got Lucy, my Indian ringneck, she was not to be handled. The breeder that I got her from was very clear about that. And I found out really fast that, in fact, that's her. In fact, I could not handle her at all. Just putting my hand in her cage was enough for her to try to bite me. So what I've done is right from the beginning, day one, I started doing target training with her in her cage. So basically target training, what it is you just use a stick, like a chopstick, for example, and you ask the bird to touch the stick. Birds are, generally speaking, very curious, so they will be curious about that thing and they will try to go towards it. I don't want to go too much details on how to use target training in this video because I have another video about this, but for me, this is the best way you can start bonding with your bird. Now, let's go back to the very beginning though. There's a very important step that I didn't talk about before target training or altogether. Make sure that your parrot has 12 hours of sleep not interrupted. That's very important. That's what they need to be well rested. And second of all, they need to be on a good diet, meaning a mix of veggies with healthy pellets. And depending on which bird you have, very little seeds in their diet. Now, if I take my Indian ringneck, for example, when I got her, she was on a very fat seed, nuts, and dried fruit diet. That's what she was eating. So basically, her regular diet was a bunch of treats. So I had to work with this. I was very lucky to find... She's calling me. I was very lucky to find a treat that was not part of her regular diet that she really liked, which was pine nuts. So I've been able to start training her on day one. While I was starting the diet conversion, because Lucy was already an adult. She was about 7 years old when I got her, and she's, I believe, been on this diet for a long time, given that she was a breeding bird. It was a long process to get her fully converted to a healthy diet. But because this pine nut magic treat that I found, I've been able to train her from day one. So that really helps. If you're in the position where you cannot find a treat that your bird loves, you're going to have to do that conversion uh, before you attack the training part of it, or at least get it started so that the bird is willing to work and to face their fears to get a treat. The other thing is sometimes what is challenging is to be able to give the treat to your bird because they're so scared that they just want to bite you, or they don't want to take that treat from your hand. Lucy was a little bit challenging in that area. So by training your bird in the cage, you have that little bit of a barrier, right? The bars are making that barrier, so you're a little bit more protected from your bird, and you can just totally have the target move around in the cage, and then have your bird move around in the cage and just get those treats through the bars. And slowly you will yourself get a little bit more confident, and you're going to build that trust with your bird. They're going to be a little bit more easygoing with your hands, maybe, seeing that this is reinforcing, they get something positive out of it. And then slowly you can transition and go outside of the cage. There's a specific way that you can give the treat by giving the treat coming up. That way, when you do this really slowly, your bird has to reach up. And the way the beak works is that your bird cannot bite you with the upper beak. They can only bite you. So this is the beak. They can only bite you with the lower one, right? So the lower goes like inside like this. Oh my gosh, do you like my little, this is my little birdie. I guess it's a cockatoo. Look. Okay. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I'm a little silly. So how they're going to be able to bite you is from grabbing at the bottom here, and then they'll be able to bite you like this, right? So they have to reach like this. So if they have to reach up, they won't be able to use this. So they'll have to use their tongue to grab the treat with the upper part of the beak. And that way they cannot bite you. So take your time and bring the treat slowly upward. And then eventually your bird is going to get used to it and used to yourself, and you won't get that bite from trying to get that treat. Or sometimes because it's the fight or flight response, right? So they want the treat, and then all of a sudden they realize, oh my gosh, it's a hand holding the treat. I'm going to bite the hand instead of getting the treat because I'm too scared, right? Yeah. So we're avoiding all of this chaos by this technique. And then slowly from there, you get the target training outside of the cage, and then you can have your bird fly around, move around, go pretty much wherever you go. And all of this training is helping you to bond with your bird, because it's just positive reinforcement. It's just positive interactions. It's all positive, and you're going to build the trust of your bird in that way. The other thing that's really good is doing trick training with your parrot. So yes, target is a trick. Target training is actually a trick. But from there, you can start training little fun tricks that does not involve any handling. So for example, you can ask them to spin on a perch. And that does not require any handling. If you want to see a video about that, how to teach your bird how to spin, let me know, and I can totally let me know in the comments, and I will do that. I will put up a video together to show you how to train your parrot to spin on a perch. And I have also the spin the other way around that I just thought Olive for her to spin around the perch. That's another one that doesn't require any handling. And it's very cute. I mean, it doesn't work with every birds. The bigger the birds, and I don't think it's going to work. But conure size, it works really, really well, as you can see with Olive. And if you're interested in seeing a video about how I thought Olive to do that, let me know again in the comments below, and I will put that together for you guys. So trick training is really fun because it engages the parrot's brain a lot. They need to be engaged. They need to be stimulated, and they enjoy doing that kind of stuff. And then they get rewarded for it. They get their treat. And it's just a lot of fun for you, for your parrot, and you build that trust as you go like this. And then from there, eventually, you can possibly handle your bird. And I have personally a really good success story about this, which is with my Indian ringneck Lucy. Fast forward to a year and a half later, I went from a bird that I couldn't trust, that would just want to bite me as soon as I was putting my hand in her cage, to a bird that now is recall trained, flies to me, land on my hand, get the treat from my hand, and will stay there until I put her back on a perch or in her cage without being bit. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see more of this kind of video. Look up my page. And also now I'm doing live sessions. So I'm going live on YouTube every Saturday from 10 to 10:30 in the morning Pacific time. So if you subscribe, you'll see all of those coming your way. You can choose also the topic that you want me to talk about through the polls that I put every Thursday or Friday prior to the live on my post tab. All right. Bye, guys.